Welcome to class 9, chapter 5, Euclid Geometry. First, we have to know what is geometry. Geometry is geo plus metron. Geo means related to earth and metron means to measure. Now, we can define the geometry as geometry is the branch of maths in which we study about the measurement of the things which are related to earth. Means all the things which are related to earth, if we are measuring its length, width, height, whatever, it is the part of geometry. Geometry is purely made up of points only. Means all the objects, all the things of geometry is made up of points. What is point? Simply, there is no authentic definition of point, but we can understand it as a small dot, small dimensionless dot. Dimension means length, width, height. Less means nothing. No dimension at all. No length, no width and no height. A small dimensionless dot which has only position in the plane. Means a point having only the position in the plane, not the length, not the width and not the height. After that, see what is line. Here in 9th and 10th class, the line means straight line. Line is basically of three types: straight line, curved line and zigzag line. In 9th and 10th class, we have study about the straight line. Whenever the word line is used, it means straight line. Line is a set of points. Line is a set of points which form a straight path extended infinitely in both directions. Repeating again, line is a set of points which form a straight path extended infinitely in both directions, having only one dimension, that is length. Means in line, out of three dimensions, only one is there, that is length. Means line having no width and no thickness. The next object is line segment. Line segment is a part or portion of a line. Line segment is a part or portion of a line which has definite length with one dimension only, that is length. Means line segment having a different length, fixed length, it is a part of line, only one dimension, that is length, which is definite. We can say line having no endpoints, it extended in both the directions infinitely. Line segment having definite length means having two endpoints. Now ray. Ray is a part of line which extends infinitely in one direction only. It is again part of the line. It starts from one point. It is called the initial point. From where the ray starts is called initial point. And it extended only in one direction and goes up to infinity. Means the only one dimension, that is length, which is unlimited length. Line and ray having unlimited length. Line having no endpoints. Line segment having two endpoints. Ray having no endpoint. One is starting point and other is infinitely extended point. Now surface. Surface is that which has length and width only. Where the length and width is there, that is called surface. Surface is plane surface, curved surface, zigzag surface. Zigzag means a valley shaped, Curve means circular shape, and plane surface means flat. Now plane, what is plane? Plane is a flat surface. This is the flat surface. This wall is a flat surface. The plane is a flat surface which extend infinitely in all four directions. It can be extended in right side, left side, upward, downward. So this is the plane. So these are some basic terms used in Euclid geometry. Euclid geometry having the focus only on Euclid's axioms and Euclid postulate. We have 7 axioms and 5 postulates. Now, the Euclid, there are 7 axioms and 5 postulates. And what is axioms? A mathematical statement which is assumed to be true without proof. These assumptions are actually considered as universal truth. Means axioms are the universal truth. They need not any proof. They are accepted as they are. There are 7 axioms of the Euclids. Axiom number 1, the things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. It's very simple. Suppose if we have 3 objects, A is equal to C, B is equal to C, then A equal to B equal to C. The things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. A is equal to C, B is equal to C, then A equal to B equal to C. Axiom number 2. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. Simple concept. If A is equal to B, two things are equal, then A plus C must be equal to B plus C. The same thing added to the equals. The wholes will be equal. Axiom number 3. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Again, in place of plus, it becomes minus. If A equal to B, then A minus C equal to B minus C. First here A is equal to B. C, the same thing is subtracted from both the sides. The remainders will also be equal. This is axiom number 3. Axiom number 4. The things which are coincides with one another are equal to one another. Very simple. Suppose if we have 2 circles of radius 1 centimeter, both the circles have radius 1 centimeter. If we put over here, they will exactly overlap to each other. So this is axiom number 4. The things which are coincide with one another are equal to one another. Now axiom number 5 says the whole is greater than the part. The whole is greater than the part. Very simple one. This is the whole part. These are the parts. So these whole is greater than the part. Axiom number 6 says the things which are double of the same thing are equal to one another. Simple concept. Suppose A equal to B, then 2A must be equal to 2B. It is not only for the double, we can say if the things are equal and we are multiplying same thing on both sides, the result will be equal. 3A will be equal to 4A, 3a will 4b, 5a equal to 5b, 10a will be equal to 10b. Means if same thing are multiplied on equals, the result will remain equal. Axiom number 7 says that the things which are halves of the same thing are equal to one another. Again very simple. Suppose we have two quantities and they are equal. A is equal to b, then a upon 2 will be equal to b upon 2, a upon 3 will be equal to b upon 3, a upon 5 will be equal to b upon 5, and so on. This is axiom number 7. Now what are the postulates? Postulates are almost like the axioms. A statement that is believed or accepted to be true, that form the basis of theory, etc., are called postulate. Postulates are also considered as universal truth. They need not any proof. They are accepted as they are. We have 5 Euclid's postulates. Postulate number 1, it says that the straight line may be drawn from any point to any other point. Means any straight line can be drawn from any point to any point, any point to any point. Postulate number 2 says that a terminated line can be produced indefinitely. Suppose we have a line and up to here, it can also be produced up to infinity. Postulate number 3 says a circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. A circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. Postulate number 4 says that all right angles are equal to one another. And postulate number 5 says if a straight line falling on two straight lines make the interior angles on the same side of it taken together less than two right angles, then the two straight lines, if produced infinitely, meets on that side on which the sum of angles is less than two right angles. It's very simple one. Suppose we have two straight lines and they are intersected by another one. The postulate says if we produce up to them infinitely, and if this sum is less than 180, they will meet on this side. If the sum of these two interior angle is less than 180, the line will meet on the left side. These are the 5 postulates of the Euclid's, in which postulate number 5 is very important for the point of examination, and all 7 axioms are very useful. They are used as a reason as a mathematical reason when we solve geometrical problem. So this is all about the Euclid's geometry. In Euclid geometry nothing is there, only introductory part is there. What is geometry, what are the points, line, segment, ray, etc. Just you have seen it. And then the Euclid's 7 axioms and Euclid 5 postulates. So that's all for the Euclid geometry.